Hey guys, my name is Barbara Bass and I'm back with another lesson. But first, let's start with a prayer, okay? Lord, help people who belong to you see how blatant the enemy is and help them to be alert. Make it so that they do not take threats that leave people's mouths lightly. Do not let it be swept under the rug. Help them to see the first time they heard the threat or whatever it was that was negative being spoken, the violence. Help them to see that it was not a joke but a plan or an assignment that was spoken right before them. God, protect your children from the enemy. Expose the enemy and his plots and schemes and scams. In Jesus Christ's name I pray. Amen. Today's Bible verse is coming from 1 Peter 5:8. 1 Peter chapter 5 verse 8. And it says here, be sober-minded, be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. So I'll read it again. Be sober-minded, be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. That's kind of like, you know how God spoke in parables? That's kind of like I guess in school they call it a simile or a metaphor. But that's to show you that, first of all, you got to be sober-minded. Like, you got to be within your right mind, because sometimes these people will act and say things that are very violent, like right in your face, and it'll go over your head because you think that they're playing. Okay? So you need to be sober-minded so that it won't go over your head, so that you can catch it when these people make these slick little sly remarks throwing shade. Okay? Because it will go over your head, especially if you're like a good-hearted person. It might catch you, like when it goes through your ear, you might catch it like, dang, that didn't sound too good. But then the person might be saying it with a smile, nice, nasty, with a smile on their face, making you feel like, oh, maybe it's just a joke. When you feel that confusion, like somebody just said something very violent, but they smiling like a Karen in your face, acting like it's just a joke or something that could be swept under the rug or not to be taken seriously. No, you need to take it seriously, okay? Because a lot of times these people have demons speaking through them. They call it sponsors. I call them sponsors, but these demons be their sponsors, and they be speaking up for the person, saying what that demon that lives in them really wants to do. Because really, since a demon can't fight you, they be wanting to fight you. They really want to hurt you. They do not like you, okay? You know the devil in all his assignments: kill, steal, destroy, all that stuff. So any feelings like shame, guilt, worry that are bad, negative feelings on the negative end of the spectrum that come from stealing, killing, destroying, all those things on the negative side, they come from the enemy. And he wants you to feel those feelings. He wants you to fight. He wants to start things with you, and he can't. So what him and his minions do is they use people like me and you, not me and you, because we children of God, and we're aware of it. But that don't mean that you're exempt. You still can be used, though. But he uses people as vessels to enact his will, his assignments, his will, like the devil's will, what he would want to be the will over you. It ain't his will, though. He can't. He's a devil, so of course he wants what he wants, but it's not to say that he's going to get it, is what I'm trying to say. But the signs, the dreams, the visions, or the ways in which God tries to warn you, you don't want those signs, symbols, and ways to be unnoticed. You don't want them to go unnoticed. So Satan hopes that believers will have fear from hardship and persecutions, or that they will be deceived and then fall into sin. That's what he's hoping for you. That's his plan. That's what he's hoping for you. So people's demons, they're gonna pop out, like monitoring spirits and stuff like that. When people asking you too many questions or just getting all in your business, you can sense, you can feel that vibe, like. And it's the same thing with these demonic people. Even when they saying evil stuff coming out their mouth with a smile on their face, you can still feel like these people crazy. You know what I mean? Like, they got something against you. They want to fight. So let me give you some examples of this, so that if you notice it or it happens to you, you know what to do. Okay? So first of all, people's demons, they be wanting to fight you, and that's why they'll say it sometimes in third person. So they don't say it in first person like, I want to fight you. They say it like, I'll give you an example. I put on here, their demon is like a sponsor who can't keep quiet. Yeah, because they want to speak up. They want to speak through the vessel. They want to speak through the person who's going to be doing the evil. And sometimes they'll confess to you before it happens. They'll tell you their plans or their scams. So that's why I was praying, let these people open their mouth and reveal it to you. Like, especially now that you done seen this word, if they come out straight up and say it. Let me just give you an example of what I'm talking about. All right. So let me add this, because I'm trying to go in the order of my notes. Sometimes these demons, they want to put their hands, they want to lay hands on you, but they're waiting for a reason to do it. They waiting for you to give them a reason for that demon to pop out and smack you right quick. So the best thing to do is avoid these people, stay away from them. And when they make little smart comments that make you want to just react and go off, that's them trying to make you go off so they can point at you and say, look, see, you're like this, or so that you can overreact and then they have a reason to want to fight you or hit you, because that's what they want to do. There's been so many times in my life where I've heard people's demons speak through them and say things towards me, and it's really sad, because it'll leave you thinking like, is this person jealous of me? Like, because why else would somebody want to fight you? Ain't no anger that strong where somebody want to fight you unless you did them something wrong. But if you ain't do nothing wrong and you got a good heart, you nice to these people, you pray for them, you nice every time you see them, and you know that it's just your light, your anointing that is irritating them, that's why they want to fight you. If you ain't been nothing but sweet and good to these people and they just be saying random stuff out the side of their neck, talking to you like you crazy, and then acting like it was just a joke, that's because really they want to fight you. Okay? They really want to put their hands on you. They just waiting for any little tiny reason for them to do it. So don't give them a reason. As soon as they say something like that, just get away from them. So one time I was at someone's house and they had company over, and their company, the person whose house I was at stepped away for a second, so they weren't around when this actually happened. But me and their friend that they invited over were standing in the kitchen, and this person started talking real violent, saying how they'll fight anybody. They don't care if it's a baby, a kid, someone's grandma. They were like saying the most delicate type of vulnerable people and saying that they would fight those type of people. And I was just looking at him like, okay. Then I noticed while he's talking with anger. His fists start balling up, and I'm like, I kept feeling this thought in my head like, this person wants to fight you. He wants to fight you. But I'm like, I didn't do anything to him, so why would he want to fight me? And like, I just kept feeling like this premonition of him just swinging on me or like hitting me real hard, and I didn't see it coming, or just, so I'm like, why does he sound like this, and like, why is he talking so violent? Then next thing I know, he starts saying something about I asked him, because he was like, yeah, I'll fight anybody. I'm like, what is that about? Is that like anger issues? Like, what is that, like masculine energy? What is that? And he turns around and says, why did you tell me that the reason why I'm aggressive and like to fight is because I want to be a tough guy? And I was like, I don't use the word tough guy. I don't use the word tough, because I don't use that word. Like, I'm from Atlanta, so we use the word hard. Like, you think you being hard, but I don't say, oh, you think you a tough guy? I don't say stuff like that. So, and I don't even use the word guy like that. So I was like, I didn't say that. This man had literally made up something in his head and said that I said those words when I didn't say those words. And then like, when I tried to like defend myself and go back, like argue with him, not argue, but just defend myself and say, hey, I didn't say that, he was very adamant, like, yes you did, and he started getting very belligerent, violent. Spit was flying out of his mouth, his fist was balled up, and I could tell he was just about to swing. So I said, give me a second, I need to go check on my daughter. I went to another room where my daughter was sitting at, and I stayed in there with her. When I say that man brought up, you called me a tough guy, like 5 or 6 times before I went in the room with my daughter. But it was like he kept on bringing it up, and then it got to the point where I felt like gaslit, like, did I say that? And I was like, I know I didn't say that. So then it got to the point where I was like, he kept bringing it up, like, yeah, we would change the subject for a little bit, then he would bring it back up. But you called me a tough guy, and I didn't like that. You shouldn't speak on things you don't know about. And I'm like, but I didn't say that. And he was like, you did. And he started getting riled up again. And then I was like, listen, something ain't right. Because for the demon to have to go and make up a lie and lie on me in order to come up with a reason to try to hit me, that was crazy to me. But this is what these demons do. They already enraged and ready to hit somebody anyway. But then, yeah, he's like, yeah, you did say it. You did say it. You called me a tough guy. And I'm like, then the subject changed. We're talking about something else. He's telling me about another fight. Then he goes back to that. Yeah, you called me a tough guy. And he, once he said it like the fourth or fifth time, I knew something mentally was off. Because then, like around the third time he said it, I was like, listen, I don't remember saying it, but I'm gonna just go ahead and apologize. And he said, no, it's good. You ain't gotta apologize. And I'm like, yeah, but you keep bringing it up, so I'm gonna just apologize. And then I thought it was squashed after I apologized. Tell me why this fool he brought it up again. And this is all within like a 45-minute conversation about him being violent and always liking to fight everywhere he go. So then I was like, okay, obviously something ain't right up here, because you're now accusing me of something that I know I didn't say. I even apologized for something I didn't say, and you still brought it up and tripping with your fist balled up and looking violent. So at that point I was like, listen, my daughter's in the back room. I need to go check on her. It's been a while. I'll be right back. Never came back out the room. Never wanted to see that person. And then I told the person whose house it was, like, hey, you need to watch this person because they're violent. A couple weeks later, those two people ended up, the person whose house it was and the person who I got into it with, ended up getting into it as well. And then it was a point proven that this person had some type of issue or demonic activity going on. Okay, because it didn't just happen with me. After it happened with me, it happened with like 4 other people in the community, so including the person whose house I was at. But that's one example. Another example, I go to the nail shop. The lady who's doing the nails of the person next to me had these big calf muscles on her legs or whatever. And I was like, wow, you look like you have I was like, you have nice legs, like you work out or whatever. And then she was like, yeah, I do. She was like, I know, my calf muscles are really strong and muscular. And she said something that was so crazy, y'all. She looked right at me and said, actually, she wasn't even looking at me when she said it. She was looking down on the person's toes she was doing. She said, yeah, my calf muscles are big, and if I were to kick you in the face, it would really hurt. Y'all. I was like, nah, you would never get to kick me in the face. That would never happen. And she was like, no, not you. I'm just saying in general. And I'm like, nah, I know, but I just got to let you know, because I don't know if that was you speaking or your demons speaking through you. But you're never going to get a chance to kick me in my face, okay? And I looked right at her in her face, made sure she was looking at me when I told her that. Because I'm like, I need to let the demon in her know. Because sometimes it don't be these people. It be their demons. And you don't know how many people you come in contact with on a daily basis that have demons running rampant inside of them. That's what makes them say things like that barbaric like that. It's like, what would make you say something like that, dummy? Another time, I was out eating with a group of people, and they were asking me about my job, and I was explaining how there's, I was telling a story about a little girl who was very problematic, and I was like, this little girl just gave me so many problems. Like, she threw a pencil at my eye, like, I was like, man, it was almost it was just a big thing, right? And I guess I actually did like the student, you know what I mean? But she did have some issues or whatever. So when she threw the pencil at my eye, she threw it at me on purpose, and she was trying to hit me, but I don't think she was trying to hit me in the eye. But I was just kind of confused, because I was like, wow, we had a good day today. Like, you're a good student, I'm a good teacher, we had a good talk. Like, why would you throw a pencil at me randomly? Like, it just threw me for a loop. I didn't understand it. And I didn't realize that this student had, some other issues going on too. So anyway, long story short, I'm telling the people at the table that I'm eating with this story, because they had inquired about my job and how students behave nowadays in these times. And one young lady said, that was at the table eating with us, said, yeah, if I was that student, I was that student back in the day. I was that type of student. And if I was her, I don't even remember her exact words, and I don't want to put words in her mouth, but she said something along the lines of, if I was that student, I would have been fighting you and beating you up, or something about something along the lines of whooping you up and down the hallway, or whooping you or beating you up, or something about beating me up, okay, like up and down the street, up and down the hallway, or something like that. But this person insinuated that if they were that student, they would have been the type of student that would have fought me up and down the street, a hallway, or something like that. And I was just like, I remember looking at the person at the table like, why would you say that? Why would you want to be that student? Like, do you picture yourself being that student and fighting me or something? Because why would you say that? It was just weird to me, and it made me look at the person a little bit different. Because, and then if I pried deeper and asked the person, like, can you explain that? Or if I was to ask the person, like, do you want to fight me? Like, why would you say that you want to be in that person's shoes to fight me? Like, what would make you say something like that? Like, that would make me look at you like, that made me look at her like, do you really want to fight me deep down? But and you want to say it, but you can't, so you got to use it as this example. Like when people say things in third person, I'm a little weirded out by it. I don't understand it. So it was just, it kind of took me for a loop, y'all, and it kind of hurt my feelings too, because it made me sit there the whole rest of the dinner and be like, wow, I shouldn't have opened up. I shouldn't even said anything. I shouldn't have told this story, because now someone has taken the story and turned it into kind of like humiliation. And I didn't even want to go like how I did with the lady at the nail shop and tell her like, no, you're not gonna ever get to put your hands on me. I didn't even want to go to that extent with this person, because I could tell that this person was laughing and smiling, and if I would have pried into it deeper, they probably would have been like, it was just a joke. And so I just left it alone. And plus we were in front of a whole bunch of people, and I just didn't want to take it any further. But it did kind of rub me the wrong way, and it made me look at that person differently, because I'm used to demonology. I know it when I hear it. I know when demons want to put their hands on you, when they want to fight you. I know jealousy when I hear it. Not saying that this person was jealous, but it could easily be these people have demons in them that are jealous of the light. And so it comes out in these ways of them confessing it in front of you, like, I would put my hands on you if I was this person. Yeah, if I had the chance, I would kick you and it would really hurt. Oh, if I was this, like, it comes off this way because they can't just flat out do anything to you, or they would be crazy. You know what I'm saying? Another example. I'm sitting in the car with someone, and something that normally happens, and this person says, hey, normally if you did that, if you was anybody else and you did that to me, I would have fought you. And I'm like looking at the person like, are you okay? And then the person proceeds and says, I promise you I'm okay. It's because the person knew that I read that their sponsor just spoke. Because there was no reason to say, hey, if you was anybody else, I would have fought you over this. There was no other reason to say that. That person just probably wanted to fight, and so they said it and tried to make it seem like, oh, if it was anybody else, this would have been warranted to fight. But since it's you, I'm going to just let it pass. And it's like they're doing me a favor, when it's like what I did doesn't even deserve a reason for me to get hit or for us to fight. So when it's something really petty, and you're telling me that normally you would have fought me over something that's this small, stay away from those people, because they telling you right now that they have the spirit of offense on them. They're offended by every single little small things that you wouldn't even suspect that they would be offended by. They're offended by, and that person can just randomly attack you, and you wouldn't even know why, because they have the spirit of offense. So everything offends them. So you're thinking you're just being a normal person, and then they call out something stupid like small, like you tapping your foot. Like, yeah, normally when people tap their foot like that, I usually beat them up, but since it's you and you family, I ain't gonna do it. And you looking like, but why would you fight me over me tapping my foot anyway? But this is the demon talking to you, letting you know that they want to put their hands on you. Okay. Another example. I just watched a clip of this man. He be doing the street preaching a lot. And some man came up and was like, and he was street preaching at like a gay parade, and a man came up and was like, I'm married to a woman and I'm not against homosexuality or whatever. And the man starts saying, why are you here? Why are you here? You're just pulling people away from God. When the man that's the street preacher is literally preaching straight from the Bible, like just saying scriptures or whatever. And then he's like, show me a scripture in the Bible where it says that it's wrong to be that gay people go to hell. And so the guy shows him the scripture. Right after that, that man's demons jumped out and said, what are you doing here? Why are you standing here? You're really antagonizing people, and you just really want me to punch you in the face, huh? Don't you want me to really punch? You just really want me to punch you in the face? And the guy is looking like, no, I don't want you to punch me in the face. I'm here to preach the gospel so that people don't end up going to hell. And it's like, they will take what you said and twist and turn it just so they have a reason to fight you. And it's just weird. Like, I don't understand. Like, people's demons be triggered, and so they just pop out and start talking for the person that's around you. So you really just have to pray for these people, because these people probably really don't mean they probably don't really mean you no harm, but they can't help it. And because that demon is in them and it just revealed itself to you, the best thing you could do is stay away from them, because that demon's going to pop out again. One thing I hear a lot of people talking about who do videos on jealousy and stuff, jealousy never really goes away. It just increases. It increases. So if you know someone around you is jealous, you need to get away from them people, because most times when a person wants to fight you, it stems down to envy and jealousy and coveting. They want something that you got and they don't got it. They can't do it or whatever. They can't produce it, and so now they're jealous or envious of you, and that's what makes them want to fight you. There's no other reason for someone to hit you and want to fight you. Like, they wanted to hit and fight God because God said he was God. That's not a reason to want to fight and hit somebody. You might be mad or feel some type of way, but that's not a reason to fight somebody. These people already be having demons in them that want to tear you apart, and it comes out. They speak it. So their demons be triggered, y'all. So allow God to have dominion over you first and foremost. Make sure that you don't allow demons to use you as a vessel to carry out these type of things on other people. Okay? Resist the devil. Don't add fuel to fire. When you see someone acting like this and doing all this and being all extra, showing you signs that they would just fight you over anything small, don't add fuel to the fire. Don't give them anything to add to it. They already want to fight you. So you say one little slick comment or one little anything, they've already waiting for a reason to hit you. So don't give them a reason. Just laugh it off, walk it off, or get away from them as soon as possible, and stay away from them. Don't give these people reasons, because they, trust me, what did that scripture say? They're ready to devour you. They're already looking for a reason to devour you. And some of the stuff that they say to you, it do go over your head, because you're not expecting these people to be like that. You're not thinking that they're thinking on that level. So maybe it going over your head maybe has saved you a couple times, because these people are probably telling you like, yeah, I'm going to push you through a wall. And you just laughing about it, or you're not really, you like, it's going over your head like, yeah, whatever, you know. But maybe that's a good thing, because if you was to say something back, you would probably be adding, or like, you know how somebody might say something so rude to you. Like, one time I was at a baby shower, and this girl came up to me and was like, you're so skinny. And I was just like, and she's the opposite of skinny. And so I could have easily said something back, and it would have been so mean and so hurtful. And it's like, a lot of these people, they can say stuff to you, and then when you say something back, it's not, they can't take it. So that's what I'm saying. And then they want to fight you, even though they was the one that was rude first. They'll try to find some type of way to be like, well, I meant it as a compliment. And it's not a compliment if you say somebody's so skinny. That's not a compliment. You can be like, oh, you girl, you nice slim thick, or you nice slim, or whatever, something like that. But you don't, because first of all, I'm not skinny, and I'm not so skinny either. So I wear a size 5 in jeans. I'm not so skinny. I'm not size 0 or 1. So that's a lie. So that's what I'm saying. Like, these demons, they already be saying rude, talking to you crazy, saying stuff out the side of their neck. And then the moment you say anything, that's adding fuel to the fire, and they ready to just throw you over a cliff. Like, no, don't. And then if you're around people who telling you to do that, watch those people too, because those people want to see you get messed up. If you know, like, if you're around someone that you know is dangerous, and you trying to get away from that situation, and the people around you keep telling you to go and like provoke it, add fuel to the fire, stay away from those people too, because they more than likely want to see you get messed up as well. They're probably jealous of you too. But yeah, allow God to have dominion over you. When people show you who they are, believe them the first time. That you don't need them to be making jokes and saying stuff that's going over your head several 10 times and stuff. Like, believe them the first time and get out of there. I think I told y'all a snippet of this story before, but I'll just repeat it again. I had this one person that I don't even want to claim this person. This one person was so jealous of me that he told me, he was like, "You just think you so pretty. You just think you all that." And I remember he used to like make a big deal about it. Like, we went to the same school, and I would wear like a 1-inch heel on a boot, and he would be making a big deal about it. Like, "Why are you wearing heels when nobody in the classroom wearing heels but you?" And I'm like, "It's a 1-inch heel boot. It's not even heels. It's a boot." But this person would always point out anything that was beautiful or anything that stood out about me. And like, one day he told me that he was going to have his cousin sitting down at the bottom of my staircase waiting to maim my face. And I didn't take it seriously. It kind of went over my head. I was like, "What does maim mean?" And he said, "Google it." And he called me the B word. He was like, "Google it, B." And I was like, "What?" And I never Googled it. Later on that day, we decided, hey, let's go to the grocery store. Go to the grocery store. On the way to the grocery store, the radio is playing NPR. NPR is like a grown people station where they talk about world news. And on the station, they was talking about maiming people's faces. And how that's the number one crime in London, Great Britain, and or yeah, like in that city, in that town, or that state, or not state, but in that country, that's the number one crime because they're not allowed to have guns. They have really strict gun laws, so people can't just go around shooting people like they do here in the United States. So their number one crime is maiming people's face, destroying people's face. So when he told me that, I didn't really take it seriously because I'm like, this person loves me. He was just mad, whatever, whatever. Then a couple hours later, after we make up from the argument, I still never took the time to go look up what it means. But when we got in the car, NPR was playing, and the fact that they was talking about the number one crime is maiming people's faces, and I had to learn. I didn't even get a chance to Google it or look it up. It was like God was saying to me right then and there that this is serious. This person really will try to do this to you. You need to move. You need to stay away from this person. It was crazy because after I moved, I saw this person a couple times in my complex, in my apartment complex. And my apartment complex was so small; it was literally consisted of 3 buildings. So I'm like, "What are you doing over here? Like, who? How are you even over here?" But I think he had been stalking me or following me in another car or whatever. But I tried to move and get away from this person. I did not want him knowing who I was, like knowing where I was. I didn't want nothing to do with him no more because I was so afraid that he was really going to do that to me. And I ended up reporting it to my school, and he sent me an email and was asking me, "Why did you tell the school that I said that?" And I'm like, "Because you did say it." I guess he thought in the email I was going to act different like it didn't, or so he could have some proof in the email that he didn't say it. And I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and act like you didn't say it. You definitely said it to me, and it was a threat. And the fact that it played in the car on NPR right after that, that was like God telling me, like, do not take this situation lightly. And at that time, I didn't even have a relationship, like close relationship with Jesus, but Jesus was still looking out for me. And that person was like anyway, that don't even matter. But anyway, I ended up going down to the police precinct and evicting this person. I had to evict this person out of my house because I was like, this person is going to end up trying to destroy my beauty because of jealousy. So that's what I'm telling you. And that was his demon that has spoke out and said that to me. So that's what I'm letting you know right now. Do not, and that's my bad. Because I should have never even been living in a home with a man who I was not married to. Okay? It don't matter if the person is just a friend. That person, you should not be living with no man unless y'all are married. Or unless that's your little brother and y'all relatives and y'all live together with your parents in the house. But anyway, that demon spoke out and said what it was going, like its assignment, its plan for my life. And he threatened me. It was like, if you ever do anything in my life that will ruin my life, this is what I'm going to do to you. I'll have my cousin sitting down there by the stairs to maim your face. And I was like, what? And this person had the spirit of offense on him. He was offended by every single little thing. Every single little thing. I remember one time we got into a big argument because I called a blue truck a blue car. I was like, "Look at that blue truck." And he was like, I was like, "Look at that blue car." And he was like, "Car? That's a truck." And we literally got in an argument. And I was like, started out that morning singing Mariah Carey. And by the end of that afternoon, I was sitting in the car crying and sad. And this person was sitting up laughing and singing, rapping Lil Wayne and just happy. And our energies had just switched. And I seen how I was the happy one all day. And then I went to feeling salty and looking salty. And then he ended up being happy. He just stole my energy right before me. And that was the day. Right after that happened. That was when I was like, yeah. I went down to the police precinct and got him evicted out of my house. Because I was like, yeah, you're crazy. But, yeah, like, you don't let people these demons and speak through these vessels and tell you their assignment and then stay around them and wait for it to happen. You got to get away from these people. If you seeing something and something like this has happened to you recently, you better get away from these people. Okay? Because they mean what they say. If they telling you what they gonna do to you or acting like they gonna do, my mom just told me that there was some homeless people in the neighborhood that her friends was helping. It was like a woman with her 4 kids, and she was literally out there. All the kids' shoes was talking with holes in them, and she had ran away from her husband because her husband had PTSD or whatever it is when you in the military and you like have flashbacks, and he would just pull out and put it up to her and be like, yeah, I'm gonna pull it, and he would do that and traumatize her like that every day, all the time, over stupid small stuff, like stuff that didn't even, like, the kids get into a fight and he ready to come and start messing with her, pull her in a room and start putting that against her head and saying, I'm gonna pull it, and scaring her and stuff. And he would do that every day, and then the next time he did it to the son and blacked his eye and everything, and then that's when the mama knew that she had to get away from him. Because he kept on saying what he was going to do. That's the demon speaking into your life what their plan and their assignment is. There's a demon or on that person, on their vessel, trying to take you out. So if you know people are like this, and you know adding any kind of fuel to the fire is going to make them blow up and try to come for you, just get away from them. Stay away from those type of people. If you know every time you're around these people, they just got to make a slight comment. They waiting for your reaction. They want to start something so they can turn up and like turn some quick back and forth real quick into a real big fight so they can punch your teeth or black your eye or cut your hair off or burn your whole body up. Get away from these people. The demon is telling you its assignment. Do not let it go over your head. Defend yourself. Be ready to fight, swing, and defend yourself. Remain sober-minded so that their plans don't go like unheard and unnoticed. Stay sober-minded so that when this stuff happens, you know what to do immediately, like I did. Take them seriously, because demons be on assignment and will reveal their evil plans to devour you. Alright? So stay prayed up. Get away from these people if you know they crazy. It ain't worth it, man. YouTube, it shows a lot of testimonies. And I be seeing testimonies of people being, maimed and burnt up and beat up beyond no return. Rolled over by cars. Just the worst things that can happen to a person over jealousy. And then when you listen to these people's stories, you hear them say stuff like, this person had already said they was going to do this to me. This person had already kind of mentioned this to me. Why did you stay around and stick around and wait for it to happen and for them to prove it to you? Why didn't you get away? So that's what I'm saying, y'all. Don't take threats lightly, yo. Get away from these demons, man. All right. Peace. Like, share, and subscribe.